Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, yeah, Finebaum is saying this is a must-win for Ryan Day, and Urban says you can't fire Day. So Ryan is pretty much a lightning rod right now. Huge game coming up tomorrow. We got a bunch of games already started. Let's take a look at what we got, and then we'll talk about Ryan Day, Ohio State, the VOLS, all of that good stuff. All right, got a pretty good game coming on at 3:30, Tulane versus Florida in the Gasparillo Bowl. Then you've got the big game, Indiana versus Notre Dame at 8 o'clock tonight. That's the 12-team playoff bowl. SMU versus Penn State at noon. Clemson versus Texas at 4 o'clock. And then Tennessee in Columbus, Ohio at 8 p.m. And the weather tomorrow in Columbus in the evening is going to be 25 degrees. You're going to have a 6-mile-an-hour wind with gusts of 15 miles per hour. So it's going to be pretty darn cold. 25, it's probably going to feel like 22, it says. And when those wind gusts hit you, it's going to be a little rough. So it's not going to be terrible. You know, we're not talking about single digits or anything crazy like that. But neither one of these teams, I don't think, are used to playing in cold weather, because even Ohio State, they don't play in December. When they do play bowl games, they're usually south. So this will be a first for them. It'll be a first for Tennessee. The last game we played was in Nashville, and it was in the 30s. So it wasn't a whole lot different than this, except we'll be playing at night. We won't have the sun. Now let's talk about Paul Finebaum. He's had his take on this ball game, and he thinks there's a lot of pressure on Ohio State and, of course, Ryan Day. Now, I think, honestly, since they're playing in Ohio, that should favor Ohio State pretty strongly, and they are favored by 7.5 points. But on the other hand, there is pressure on Ohio State. They're expected to win. And if they don't, it's going to get rough for Ryan Day. And Finebaum said they have enormous pressure because of what happened in the previous game, and that was obviously the loss to Michigan.
It's got to be America's team.
They have Tennessee Saturday night. I think this is a must-win situation. He says, losers of 4 straight to Michigan, it felt as if Ohio State hit a new low after losing the game once again. They were massive favorites heading into the matchup and would have clinched a spot in the Big Ten championship with a win. Then he said there's a lot of speculation about what's going to happen to Ryan Day, but remember a couple things should they lose. There's a $37 million price tag. That's serious money for Ohio State. Ultimately, I think this is a must-win game for Ryan Day. Now, here's the thing. Even if they lose, I don't see them firing Ryan Day because, like, again, $37 million bucks. And he's been a darn good coach, winning at 87%. He's just lost the wrong games. He's lost a lot of big games, and the Michigan one stands out the most. Now, I would give him a pass on the first couple because of the Connor Stallions thing and all of that.
The sign stealer guy.
But this one this year, it almost seems like the whole "you're soft" thing got in his head. And Lou Holtz, basically making that statement. And I saw him kind of react to that, kind of like yelling about how we're tough in Ohio, and I can't believe that Lou Holtz said that, and kind of freaking out. And he went a little bit Butch Jones right there, being a little bit sensitive and thin-skinned. I don't know, that kind of surprised me. I wouldn't be concerned about what Lou Holtz said. That wouldn't matter to me. The guy's like 90 years old. But anyway, that got to him, and I'm wondering if that didn't affect how he called his plays, because he kept running it up the middle. And you're sitting here going, you got all these 5-star wide receivers, you got a good quality quarterback, why not throw the ball? But he didn't do that enough. He just kept wanting to run it straight up the middle, and that's where those 2 first-round draft picks are standing for Michigan. So anyway, it's a tricky situation. Now, Urban Meyer has been named as somebody that might replace him, obviously. And there was even talk on Buckeye Scoop that, he'd take a phone call. But he's come out and said, I'm not coaching again. I love my Buckeyes, but I'm not going to be a coach again. So he's kind of gone back and forth a little bit on it because, you got to say I won't take the job. You got to do that while the guy's still the head coach. Now, if they were to let Ryan Day go, that might be different. The one positive is you don't have a buyout for Urban Meyer. You don't have to worry about any of that. And let's see what he had to say about it. Yeah, Urban was on Colin Cowherd. And he said, they will not do that now, talking about firing Day. There's no chance they'll do that now because, Colin, if you made that change, you'll lose the roster. They can't do that. I don't believe that they'll do that. It would just be too much pressure on Coach Day and that staff. So, no, I don't believe they do that. So, folks, it's a little over 24 hours away from the big game. which should be outstanding. What I think is going to happen, I expect Ohio State to throw the ball a lot. I really do. It almost feels like they're going to throw it 2/3 to 1/3 run, which would probably be the best way for them to play against Tennessee. Now, our secondary is pretty darn good, and we're going to have to put a lot of pressure on their quarterback, Will Howard, who is a good running quarterback as well. He'll take off on you. Now, if Tennessee can put a lot of pressure on him, he'll also throw an interception or two. He threw 2 in the Michigan game, which were very costly, but you got to put pressure on him. We are a very similar defense to Michigan. We're very stout up front. We're good in the secondary, a lot better than we have been in the past, bringing in 2 really good, well, we brought in 1 really good cornerback and had another one that just has been developing. Boo Carter back there at safety. So, we're pretty strong in the secondary, but that's not the strength of our defense. And we're good against the run. Tennessee, I think in the cold weather, being kind of windy, I think you're going to see a lot of Dylan Sampson. I think we're going to spread their defense out, and Ohio State's got a great defense. They're very good. But we're going to spread them out, and we're going to try to run the ball with Dylan Sampson, and I definitely think that Nico and Josh Heupel are going to take some shots. I think Dante Stallworth, they're going to be looking to get him out into the open and try to get some grass out there for him to run, because if Dante gets it and gets an opening, he's gone. You're not going to catch him. They'll try to hit Squirrel out of the slot. Probably Brew McCoy. We'll see a lot of quick passes out to him, which is really more of a run. That's kind of a glorified run. And I think Josh will mix it up pretty good. Now, there's been a lot of smack talk on the internet, as you can imagine, and Twitter's been kind of blowing up. Now, there's a fella by the name of Ohio's Tate. He says, if Tennessee beats Ohio State, he said, I will put on a VOLS jersey, drive to Capitol Square in Columbus, plant a power tee in front of the State House, and take a shot of moonshine while Rocky Top blares on Christmas morning. So that guy's, he's taking his chances, I can tell you that. And here's Code Orange showing Bobby Hill looking at the national title.
Damn it, Bobby, this just ain't right. You're a good son. You deserve better than this.
And here Josh Heupel talks about whether he'll make any changes or not in the game.
Coach, when you have a couple of weeks off, can there be a lot of new wrinkles thrown in, or is this kind of, you are what you are, but both teams kind of are what they are at this point when you go play?
Yeah, we have nothing new defensively, offensively, or special teams. It'll be exactly what we've done.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Yeah, that sounds like Josh Heupel. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. Now, here's Ohio State Buckeyes. They put this out, and it says, Go Bucks, but it says, gracious in victory and defeat, one community, behave like champions, uphold traditions, create memorable moments, keep the standard of excellence, show respect to all. In other words, don't boo us. If something were to go wrong, don't start booing. The Michigan game still is kind of hanging over Ohio State right now. This would be a great opportunity for them to kind of try to flush that down the toilet and move on. They need to win this game, but it's not going to be easy. Tennessee, I can tell you right now, they're not going to be happy just making the 12-team playoff. They want to go far in this thing. And they've got the talent to do it. We've got the defense. We've got a solid offense. Our quarterback's been developing. He's just a redshirt freshman, but he's really coming along nicely. He's going to get tested. This Ohio State defense is no joke. It'll be probably just about as good as Georgia's was. It's going to be tricky. I think the crowd will definitely play a role. We're hearing tickets are as low as $100 now and under $100 in their stadium. So the home crowd is not going to be there in massive numbers. I think they'll probably have 60,000, and I feel like we'll have 30. That's what it feels like based on everything I've seen on the internet, second market for all the tickets and all that kind of stuff. So if we go 60-30, I'd be real happy with that. That's almost a neutral site. It's about as good as you could possibly hope for. And, of course, depending on who wins this game, they'll be playing Oregon at a neutral site. It'll be at the Rose Bowl, I believe. Clemson and Texas will end up playing. Arizona State gets a bye. Arizona State got a bye.
That's not fair.
Don't raise your voice to me.
They got to do something about this playoff. That's completely unearned. I'm sorry, it's just unearned. Indiana, Notre Dame, they'll be playing Georgia, and that's earned. And then here you've got Boise State sitting here with a bye, which is not earned, playing the winner of either SMU or Penn State. And for Tennessee fans, this will give you an idea kind of what the stadium's going to look like that night. But I think you're going to see a lot of orange in here. But it should be a really fun environment. Like I said, if we can get 30,000 in here, that'll make a difference. Here's what tickets are going for. Well, this was back on the 17th. They've come down quite a bit. Like I say, Tennessee's starting at under $100 now. So, folks, look, it's time. We're basically here. The college football playoff starts tonight, and we got a little warm-up fun game with the Colorado-Tulane at 3:30, or Florida and Tulane at 3:30. And then tomorrow, boom, 3 straight big-time playoff games. So all I can say is this. If you're not entertained by this,
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
yeah, you should be entertained because this is going to be a great weekend. My Vols being in the playoff just couldn't be better. Not only for me as a fan, but as a YouTuber, it's just perfect. Man, I hope we can continue on, but I think this is a great challenge. This is the game everybody's talking about, Ohio State versus Tennessee.
I'm so popular. Everybody loves me so much.
You've got 2 teams that really match up well. Should be fascinating. You've got the Ryan Day stuff going on. There's no issue with Josh Heupel. We're thrilled with Josh Heupel. There's, no issue there. But like I say, the Ryan Day saga is either going to get better or it's going to get a whole lot worse. There's not going to be any in between.
And now for the next 30 minutes, as the world turns.
He wins this game, this will give him, a week off from taking crap. And people will lay off him, and then if he loses to Oregon, they'll be back on him. But if he loses, it's going to get real ugly real fast. That's just my opinion based on everything I've seen. I'm not saying that it's deserved. I'm saying that's what's going to happen. Dalton, tell him.
It'll get worse before it gets better.
Yeah. Going to get worse before it gets better.
Roadhouse.
So, anyway, it's all happening right now. It's starting tonight and then kaboom tomorrow. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's me continue to cover all these big college sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, 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 hit this little button right here. It won't cost you a dime. Oh, and I'm going to do a pre-show before the game tomorrow night, like probably 7:30. And right over here is most recent video YouTube. Thanks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.